And Corn Pop was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys. And I did, and back in those days, to show how things have changed, one of the things you had to use, if you used pomade in your hair, you had to wear a bathing cap. And so he was up on the board, wouldn't listen to me. I said, hey, Esther, you, off the board, or I'll come up and drag you off. Well, he came off, and he said, I'll meet you outside. My car, these were all public housing behind it. My car, there was a gate out here. I parked my car outside the gate. And he said, I'll be waiting for you. He was waiting for 3 guys in straight razors. Not a joke. There's a guy named Bill Wright, Mouse, the only white guy, and he did all the pulls. He was the mechanic. And I said, what am I going to do? He said, come down here in the basement where mechanics, where all the pull filter is. You know the chain, there used to be a chain that went across the deep end. And he cut off a 6-foot length of chain. He folded up, he said, you walk out with that chain. And you walk to the car and say, you may cut me, man, but I'm going to wrap this chain around your head. I said, you kidding me? He said, no, if you don't come back. And he was right. So I walked out with the chain. And I walked up to my car. And they had, those days, you used to remember the straight razor, you'd bang them on the curb, get them rusty, put them in a rain barrel, get them rusty. And I looked at him, but I was smart then. I said, first of all, I said, when I tell you get off the board, you get off the board, and I'll kick you out again, but I shouldn't have all. I said, first of all, I said, when I tell you get off the board, you get off the board, and I'll kick you out again, but I shouldn't have called you, Esther Williams. I apologize for that. I apologize, but I
am not up to the job. And I mean that sincerely. It's not like, whoa.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
No, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce.
They're dying. That's true. And it is what it is.
The battle of righteousness versus Satan. Yes, Satan. Because these leftists are evil.
And then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup for my family. You're so innocent. This is soup for my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's a perfect size. It's made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup for my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people.
Here I am, Nancy Pelosi, saying this country needs a strong Republican Party, and we do.
I went in yesterday and there was a television screen and I said, this is genius.
Pokemon Go. But I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
But the real problem is that our leaders are dumb. Dumb. So dumb.
I'll kiss every guy, man and woman, man and woman. Look at that guy, how handsome he is.
Hello, users, and welcome to another episodic installation of I got a stuffy fuck face nose right now. I got a stuffy fuck face nose. I was sneezing like fucking 78,614 6,000.64 times, and I got a stuffy fuck face nose. So just bear with me here. I got a fucking stuffy ass fuck face nose. Oh. Hello, users! A stuffy fuckface nose. Allergies? I don't know. Hello, users! And welcome to another episodic installation. Oh, this is fucked up. This is fucked up. This ain't cool. Hey, man, this is not cool. Market Hotel cancels sold out John Hinckley Jr. concert over safety concerns. Everyone loves to talk about cancel culture. And these are the real victims. John Hinckley Jr.'s concert was canceled over safety concerns. Really? Now you might be wondering to yourself, who the fuck is this guy? Well, let me tell you. Brooklyn music venue Market Hotel has canceled a sold-out concert by John Hinckley Jr., the man who shot President Ronald Reagan in 1981 and was found not guilty by reason of insanity out of safety concerns. If we are going to host an event for the principal and potentially put others at risk in doing so, it shouldn't be some stunt booking. No offense to the artist. What do you mean, no offense to the artist? That is extremely offensive. John Hinckley Jr. is trying to live his best life through the power of music, and Market Hotel is canceling him. This is unbelievable. And then also, again, there's threats to his safety. Who is threatening him? He's trying to live his best life. He's trying to get back out in the world and show everyone what he's got in the form of music. And I'm here for it. Well, I guess I'm not anymore because his show is canceled. We might feel differently if we believed the music was important and transcended the infamy, but that's just not the case here, though any artist can get there, even someone who committed awful crimes and suffered mental illness. First of all, what awful crimes did John Hinckley Jr. commit? I'm just curious. Does anyone know? Can someone point out any awful crime that he's committed? Someone having mental health problems shouldn't be used as a cudgel to say that, oh, we don't like this person's music. What? Point to one crime? One crime that this person committed? Now, a lot of people might be thinking, oh, he shot the president. Yeah, President Reagan. So again, I rest my case. No crimes? The announcement came on the same day that Hinckley, 67, was officially given an unconditional release from all court restrictions. Earlier in that day, Wednesday, he tweeted, after 41 years, 2 months, and 15 days, freedom at last. In 1981, Hinckley claims that he attempted to assassinate the president because he wanted to impress actor Jodie Foster after watching the movie Taxi Driver. He fired 6 shots at Reagan as Reagan left the Washington Hilton Hotel on March 31st, 1981, hitting the former president's Secret Service agent Timothy J. McCarthy, police officer. Again, where are the crimes? Where are the crimes? President Ronald Reagan, Secret Service, and a cop? Where are the crimes? Let him go. This is ridiculous. We can't really be holding these grudges for 41 years, holding such obscene grudges. It's not like anybody died. It's not like any human beings actually died. Now, as we can see here in parentheses, Brady later died of his injuries in 2014, which was ruled a homicide. But like I said, not any human beings died. No actual human who actually matters at all was hurt or died. Again, this is ridiculous. This is offensive. This is offensive. Hinckley spent 30 years in a psychiatric facility. He was released under restrictions in 2016 and had been living in Virginia since then. As of 2020, he has been allowed to display his artwork publicly. Allowed to? By who? By who? Imagine, like, you know, someone like I have to talk to a manager. Oh, hey, I want to do Above It All episode 1592. And then some manager is like, sorry, on our chart it says you've suffered mental illness, so we're not going to allow you to publicly display your art. What? Like, let him go. Free John Hinckley Jr. If anyone knows how I can get him on my podcast, I would love to do so. Free him. Let him. If John Hinckley Jr. wants to come on my show and do a set via like Zoom or something, I'm in. Let's go. John Hinckley Jr. is invited on the Above It All show for a concert anytime he chooses. If we can try to get this message out there, if someone knows him or has any social media contact with him or knows how to find him, then please let him know he is invited on my show. That's fucked up. Oh. How's everyone doing? How are y'all? How are y'all doing today? I apologize if I'm low energy. I sneezed like 0.6 times this morning. And I'm still recovering. And I'm still drinking my coffee. It's the weekend? Are you serious? Are you fucking shitting me? Are you fucking shitting me? Yeah! Alright, I didn't even know that. I forgot what day it was. I've been a little bit, in a trance. It's payday? Really? Is that the case? Well, as you know, patreon.com/78531 as well as cash.app/$. You know, I'm just going to post it in the chat. I've been a little bit in a trance recently. I've been ingesting copious amounts of cannabis products, marijuana products. Copious amounts, large quantities. And I'm fucked up in the head. So I didn't even know what day it was. But thank you. I'm scratching the inside of my mouth with my teeth. Did anyone ever do this? Look. Yeah. Anyone ever do that? Anyway, so got a show going on today. Where do I even start? I guess I already started. All right. People are holding a grudge over the course of 45 years for a president that no one liked. And again, no one as in actual human beings. I mean, I understand that there are some like subhuman, like, you know, plasma-based slime creatures that may, you know, and that's not trying to make them sound cooler than they are, but, you know. Anyway, let's talk about porn. How's the chat feel about porn? I'm going to hold a poll here. Vote in the poll. We're going to talk about porn, folks. It's important. It's important. On FoxNews.com, we have an opinion piece. Online porn should be banned, and it's long overdue, by David Marcus. For 30 years, we've let the internet harm children and society. With porn! Folks, we talk about COVID-19 as a pandemic, and it is a pandemic, and it is serious. But there's other kinds of pandemics in this country. Gun violence, broken homes, and porn. We're going to ban porn. I'm here for it. Let's go. I'm ready. Let's read what we got. Let's see. Let's go. So what is this guy's name again? Marcus? David Marcus. All right, David. What I am about to suggest will seem bizarre, maybe even impossible. But hear me out. The United States should seek to ban hardcore pornography from the internet. The most obvious reason to do this is that children are inundated with an avalanche of smut. We learned in a 2019 study from the British Board of Film Classification that 51% of 11 to 13-year-olds have seen pornography online. 51%. Honestly, that sounds a little low to me. I'm just saying, 51% seems like that's a lowball estimate, but okay. This means tens of millions of very young children are watching hardcore pornography because we, as a society, frankly without much thought or discussion, have decided to allow it. This despite the fact that one can still be arrested for handling a pornographic magazine to a child. These two things make no sense together. Now, I will say, David Marcus got a point. I will say that is a very interesting tidbit for our society, is if you do give a porno magazine to a child, you can be arrested. Yet, if you give them a cell phone with unrestricted internet access, you can't be arrested. I'm just saying that is an interesting point. Okay. Point taken. Let's continue. And it's not just kids. Pornography has corrosive effects all over society, including for those in front of the camera. And it's not just pornography either. It's the internet itself that exacerbates the problem. Porn has existed for centuries. Pornographic movies for decades. For decades? I don't know, man. Movies have been around for well over 100 years now, bro. They've been around for a lot longer than decades. I'm just saying, okay. But never before the internet was an endless panoply of sexual material at our fingertips every waking hour of the day. For 30 years, we have traded the internet like it's, for some reason, untouchable by the state. What? What? First of all, who's we? Is he talking as, like, society? Or is he talking as, like, Republicans? Because Republicans have been trying to regulate the internet forever. I mean, like, look at the fucking net neutrality bullshit that like collapsed over the course of the Trump administration, right? Like they've been trying to get their grubby paws on the fucking internet forever. So I don't know about that, but this includes social media and big tech censorship as well as porn. The internet intersects with our daily lives so wholly now that this Wild West approach is simply no longer tenable. There is actually no reason why an information superhighway can't or shouldn't have rules of the road. Rules that protect kids from obscenity or stop important, accurate stories about laptops, for example. The big two problems facing America, Hunter Biden's laptop and porn. This guy, you can tell this guy's got his head on straight. This guy's got every marble is in the case, and it's facing the right direction. You can tell. Is there any more? Oh, there's a lot more. Okay. And of course, we do have some rules regarding child porn, fraud, identity theft, and defamation, to name a few. But when it comes to pornography, our society has been oddly permissive. For decades now, the internet has felt like something that is happening to us, not something we control. I'll say I agree with that sentence. I genuinely think that that's a very well put sentence, that the internet has felt like something that is happening to us and not something we control. That's true. I don't think Hunter Biden's laptop is in any capacity on the list of things to care about. But that is true. We don't control the internet. We don't control what we see. Algorithms control everything. A lot of times I ask people, how did you find my podcast? And they say, oh, it came up in the search bar, or it came up in a recommended, it came up blah, blah, blah. You didn't search for my show. The algorithm showed it to you. Now, is that a good thing? Is that us taking advantage of the algorithm? Maybe. But every time you look on the computer, every time you use Twitter, every time you use Facebook, you're just getting what these companies want to give you. So that, just throwing that out there. Every time you open up all of these websites and see right-wing media, for example, that benefits corporations, for example, that's what their aim is. To profit off of your hatred and your desire to censor. I also love how this guy's entire purpose of this article is like, Hunter Biden's laptop was censored. So my response is, let's ban porn. Okay. What does KBJ have to do with this? Well, let's keep reading and find out. There are predictable objections to banning online porn or even limiting access to it. Armchair libertarians, hands thrown up, say there is nothing we can do to stop young kids from watching it. How can you even define it? They ask. The Supreme Court has its famous and vague, I know it when I see it standard. But it can certainly be defined. This is not an epistemological quandary we need to surrender to. As to free speech, people are free to make porn, but they're responsible for where it goes. How does that factor into revenge porn, for example? I don't know. This guy doesn't see. I don't see this guy really thinking out all the different possibilities here. We are told that banning porn is impractical because people will find a way around it, and of course that's true of every law. We pass them anyway. Finally, we are told this is up to parents, as if kids don't go to libraries or schools or have friends. In this year of the parent, we have learned that so many do not want to co-parent with the state, but they also see the need for state action to protect kids, such as bans on drag shows for them. Wait, what? Wait. We have learned that so many do not want to co-parent with the state, but they also see the need for state action to protect kids, such as bans for drag. Okay, so okay, here we go. So this is where all the right-wing garbage comes in. Okay, so now in 1994, when then Mayor Rudy Giuliani began the transformation of crime and poverty-ridden New York City, one of his first actions was to kick the porn theaters out of Times Square. It was not a minor policy, but what he understood was that those coercing avenues on the public square and porn was choking the life out of it. Today, the public square is in the palm of our hands, and it's time to tear down the virtual porn theaters. Porn would still be available in all its other myriad forms, all of which are vastly more protective of children. If banning porn from the internet seems like a radical idea, it is, but allow me to suggest that we have a radical problem on our hands, blah, blah, blah. Alright, so, Jesus Christ, I mean, there's a lot to unpack here. First of all, should we ban porn? I mean, obviously the answer is no, but I'm not going to lie to you. I think that there is a huge problem with, not just with porn. Porn is one of the least of my concerns, though it is a list. It is on the list. But giving kids unrestricted access to the internet. That's the problem. That's the core problem here. Now, having unrestricted access to the internet, they might stumble upon porn. Okay, Is that problematic? Would you want more control over that experience? Maybe, but also that's kind of weird, don't you think? Like, I don't know. Like, a parent is like, oh, you're 14, here's a porno mag. Isn't that illegal, right? So, I don't know, man. But, like, I think the core problem here is unrestricted access to the internet. I think giving someone who's, like, 8 years old a phone or a tablet or a computer, a laptop, whatever, and they can search anything on there, and they don't know any form of media literacy, they don't know what this and that is, they have no frame of reference to even comprehend the internet, right? I think that that's a problem. I do think that that's a problem. I think porn is probably the least problematic thing on the list of problems. Like, I think becoming a right-winger is a big problem. You know, you go on the internet, you search a couple things, you have these big billionaire-funded news outlets telling you gay people are the blame and they're the problem and it's all the gay people, and then you turn into a right-wing fucking psychopath. That's a problem. That is a problem. We also have to talk about how a lot of online communities are infested with right-wing psychopaths. That's a problem. I remember being a teenager and playing Halo 3 when Halo 3 came out. And you turn. I remember I didn't have a voice chat device, because you need to have like a special device to plug into your controller, if anyone remembers this. So I got one later on, and I was super excited. Oh, I get to talk to my teammates. And it was every match. It was just people like screaming slurs every second. And I was like, oh, I bought a fucking headset to talk to people because I'm like, oh, there's a grenade over there. And no, they're just like talking about how much they hate black people. So it's like, okay. You know, I think that's a problem. I think that's way more of an issue than porn, personally. But also, note here that there's really no solutions. This fucking stupid article, like, is like, okay, we need to ban all porn. That's not a solution. That's not going to solve any problem. And like, if you even bring forth any like regulatory agency that has the capability of banning all porn, right, then, I mean, Jesus Christ, we're talking about Hunter Biden's laptop. I mean, that's Hunter Biden's laptop on steroids. But yeah, so I mean, I think unrestricted access to the internet is a big problem. I think that's the root problem of this. But you know what? I think porn isn't always a good thing. Are we allowed to have this conversation? I mean, I'm pro-porn. You know, I watch porn sometimes, you know, hey, I'm just saying. I'm human. But I think there's a lot of problems of people like getting like porn addictions. That's a problem. But what's the root cause of a porn addiction? Right? Like, what is the root cause of that? I don't think having access to porn is the root cause of a porn addiction. I think having access to porn can fuel a porn addiction. I think that's true. But what is the root cause of a porn addiction? Someone being addicted to porn, right? They've got some problems in their life. You know, maybe there's a pandemic and they can't go outside and meet people, right? We see statistics that since the pandemic started, like the sex rate of the average adult in this country is like, boop! People aren't fucking anymore. In the good dick way or otherwise. So, I don't know. I think people developing porn addiction is something that I think develops more so with how we handle society in general. Like, let's assume we had a world where we took this pandemic seriously in February of 2020, right? And then we locked down for 6 months or whatever. And then we went back outside and everything's fine. Like that's the thing, is the people that advocate for this stuff, they always want to ban like the problem and ignore the root cause. Because if you ban porn, right, without affecting at all the material conditions that lead to people having problems with their porn addictions or whatever, they're just going to get addicted to porn anyway, and it's going to be harder for them to find, or they're going to get addicted to something else. So, I mean, articles like this are fucking stupid. We already know that. But I do think that there's something there to discuss. I think the idea of the internet just like giving you unrestricted access to everything. Like, how do you have parental controls on Twitter, for example? How is that possible? Like I remember when I was on Twitter, and the first time like I was in a Twitter conversation, like we were arguing about politics or some shit, and then I look at their profile, and it says like 14 in the profile, and I'm like, I'm arguing with a 14-year-old about like healthcare. Like, this is like during the primary or something. First of all, this motherfucker can't even vote, and we're having like an argument about universal healthcare. But like, then I was like, why are 14-year-olds on Twitter? Like, and it's like, I don't know, man. I think that there's a problem with unrestricted access to the internet, but I don't know how we fix that. Banning porn doesn't fix that. And it doesn't fix all the other problems that having unrestricted access to the internet bring about, right? So, what do we do? I don't know. Maybe as a society, we should be more in touch with one another. Maybe parents should be more willing to, I don't know, raise their child instead of just like leaving them with toys like the internet and just hoping for the best. But then also, like, parents have to work a lot. We live in a hyper-capitalist dystopia where parents oftentimes are both working, or if you're lucky enough to have a 2-parent household, sometimes you have a single mother that works 2 jobs. Right? So, like, I don't know, if we want to solve the attention crisis that our kids are being left unattended with toys like the internet, the way you solve those problems is by giving parents the opportunity to actually spend time with their kids. I mean, again, this is the same party that wants to ban porn. This is the same fucking party that was like 6 months ago or however long ago, I don't remember, was like, oh, paid time off for your family to go on vacation. That's socialism. So, okay, so one end, the parents need to be there to raise their children all the time. The other end, the parents taking time off to raise their children is evil and socialism. Like, what the fuck? Right, so these people are deeply unserious. You need to understand that. But, you know, sometimes they stumble upon some interesting things to have conversations about. But should we ban porn? I'm going to go with no on this one. That's just I'm just guessing. I'm in this direction. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. Probably not the best idea. But, you know, is everyone looking at porn all the time a good thing? Maybe. I don't know. Depends. But also, I think there's much bigger problems in our society than porn. So that's just me. Define porn addiction. It's an addiction when it interferes with conducting your life, like not going to work to watch porn. Yeah, I would say so. An addiction. I mean, also, I disagree that an addiction is defined by how it affects your life. Like, I have a coffee addiction, and I think it mostly affects my life in a positive way, but I'm still addicted to it. I drink coffee every day. I have a caffeine addiction, to be more specific. A lot of times I'll drink several cups of coffee a day, and it helps me be productive, right? It helps me wake up in the morning to do the show. When I'm doing other work or side projects or anything, I'll drink a cup of coffee, and it helps me be productive. So is that an addiction? By that logic, no, it's not an addiction. But in reality, it is an addiction. So I disagree with that definition of addiction. My hair looks really good today. I haven't washed it in 3 days, and it's got sweat all over it. So that's pretty much. But thank you. But thank you. I appreciate that. Phil is a personal friend of mine who's been to my home and I've known for many years. Oh, hello, Phil. Environmental Coffee House loves bringing viewers into my stream, and I still have yet to go on her show, and that's only because I'm a stupid fucking piece of shit who's like really bad at doing anything other than this. Like, I'm a stupid fuckface loser whore, and like the little things that I do, that's too much. Like, you should see me after my routine, my daily routine, is every time I turn the stream off, right? I take a cold shower. Like fucking, you know, it's like, you ever see Dexter season 4 with John Lithgow? You know the scene where he's like fucking in like the weird showers and he's like screaming? You know, like that's me after every show, because I just have to get all of the anxiety off. It's like, oh my God, it's over. I can enjoy the rest of the day. And then the 3-hour cry session. After that, I have to cry for 3 hours, you know, just to get away from it all. But one day I will do the Environmental Coffee House program. Anyway, so we got a program lined up. We lined it up. I got this fucking cable that keeps like falling onto my foot. And then like, I think it's like a bug on my foot. And then I go like, whoa. And this is like the cycle. I'm stuck in this loop. I'll never break free from this loop unless I get a new fucking headset. I mean, I was thinking about getting like a wireless thing going on just for the show. But then I was thinking like, I'd rather just have a better headset. I don't know, man. I haven't got a new headset in like 5-6 years. I'm gonna get something with like, you know, I want to get one of those super good headsets that I can like listen to music and then like it's actually enjoyable, you know. I don't know. Anyway. Got some news here. It's a new show. It's a news program online. I gotta mow the lawn later. What's the weather gonna be like? I'm gonna mow the goddamn grass. Membership? I'm still working on it. I'm a piece of fucking shit. I'm stuck at the emotes section because you need to have emotes to launch the membership. And I've got emote ideas that I want to do. I just haven't done it yet, and that's where I'm stuck. I want to make all of my emotes Max the dog. That's what I decided. I want to have every emotion but with Max's face. So I want to have like a happy Max, a depressed Max. That's going to be the theme I'm going for. And I've got the photos. The photos I've got. I've got plenty of photos. It's just the cropping the photos section. That's the section that I'm stuck on. But I want to have all my emotes be Max the dog. Because I love that dog. I mean, he's a great dog. He's somewhere. Where the hell is that dog? Well, he is somewhere. That I can assure you. Wireless headsets suck for sound quality. Unless it's like a dual situation where it's got like the cord you can plug in for better quality, but then it's also wireless. That's decent. But every wireless headset I've ever used sucks dick. And not, you know, not in the good way. Cartoon ones would be clearer. But they wouldn't be Max. Anyway. Folks. You know when you're watching cop shows or any show with a cop? And they do that thing where it's like, you got the right to remain goddamn silent, you son bitch. You know what I'm talking about? Well, those are about to become extremely inaccurate. Expected reversal of Miranda requires states to step up on policing? What? With all eyes are focused on the recently leaked draft of the Supreme Court opinion on Dobbs v. Jackson's Women's Health Organization, which would end constitutional protections for abortion rights, a lesser-known case looks likely to erode another constitutional precedent. Miranda rights? The case Vega v. Teco asks whether a person's federal constitutional rights are violated if a police officer fails to inform them of their rights to remain silent, to be represented by an attorney, and to be protected against self-incrimination whenever the person is subjected to a custodial interrogation by the police. These warnings, known as Miranda warnings, after the 1966 Supreme Court case that first prescribed them, have become critical protections against coercive police interrogations and are routinely recited by officers whenever they make arrests or question suspects in custody. The Supreme Court, get the fuck out of here. The Supreme Court now seems poised to reverse this decision in Miranda, which, much like Dobbs, would give states and, to a significant extent, individual towns, the power to decide an important question of policy, where the police should be legally required to give these warnings. And of course, we know that every Republican town and every Republican state are going to say, fuck that shit. Or they're going to mandate, like, a police lie in their warning or something. You know, they'll do some crazy fucking shit. Although some state high courts have issued rulings that mirror the Supreme Court's original decision in Miranda, the future of constitutional policing in a world where Miranda is overturned truly lies with state legislatures who can decide to enact laws that mirror the original Miranda vote to overrule any state high court that already does so, freeing themselves to reshape one of the policing's most central restrictions. Whether one agrees with the overturning of Miranda's constitutional protections, the ruling shines light on the power of each state to reimagine blah, blah, blah. Who cares? States should, okay, fuck off. Yeah, most commonly, okay. Alright, so the rest is just like what states can do, and it boils down to like Democrats doing anything, which they won't, and then like Republicans are just going to take full advantage and fuck everyone up. But again, we're fucked, folks. I don't know what to tell you. This Republican Supreme Court, I don't know, man. It's almost like we need to do something about it. Does anyone remember? I want to like tell a story from way, way back. Now you might be thinking to yourself, I'm 26, right? So how far back can this story go? Well, I'm going to tell a story way, way back. Tyler, you know, in the chat probably was an infant when this was happening. So way, way back. All right. So back in the day, during the 2020 campaign, do y'all remember when Democrats were talking about packing the court after Brett Kavanaugh? Remember that? Like, so like in the Democratic primary in 2019 and 2020, do you remember them talking about packing the court? And then remember when like Amy Coney Barrett was added to the court, and then Democrats were like, oh, we're going to win election and we're going to pack the court. Remember that? You had like people like Pete Buttigieg going up there and saying, yeah, we should have like 20 justices. You remember that shit? It seems like a dream. It seems like a distant dream. But I do remember that happening, and that was 2 years ago. In some areas, 3 years ago. And this is what this is what happens when Democrats talk about doing stuff and then don't actually do anything. Like, I remember seeing a poll when Amy Coney Barrett was added to the court. There was like 50% of Democrats endorsed Amy Coney Barrett's adding to the court. Like voters. Isn't that crazy? 50% of Democratic voters, like at the time in October of 2020, were like, oh, she seems nice. We're fucked. I mean, again, Americans are fucking stupid. They're just dumb motherfuckers. So they vote for stupid motherfuckers and then never hold them accountable. This is what happens when you don't actually do anything. When you've got a gushing, gaping wound, you got your fucking guts sawed out with a fucking chainsaw, Democrats aren't even going to throw a Band-Aid on that bitch. They're going to like sing you a lullaby as you pass the fuck out and bleed out while your intestines are fucking dripping all over the fucking pavement or wherever you are. We're fucked. Anyway, so Miranda rights, goodbye. Abortion rights, goodbye. Gay rights, goodbye. Trans rights, bye-bye. Have a good one. Don't forget to write. And is anyone going to do anything about it? Oh, nope. We're fucked. All right. But wait, folks. The White House, I got like mucus. It's like a mucus. Are there other forms of the word mucus? Like mucal? Is mucal a thing? Like a mucal membrane? Is that real? Where's the fucking Andrew Kohler? Don't you have like an English degree or something? What other words of mucus are there? Like there is mucus, that's the... But is there anything to describe it? Mucosal, is that it? Okay, mucosal, thank you. Like a mucosal, like mass of some kind, just it's constructing itself. A mucosal mass of massive. It's construct. You know what I? You ever get that fucking feeling where it's just like? That's. I don't know if that was a good descriptor. But if anyone has ever had that feeling where they're just like, right? Like that's what I'm feeling right now. It's I spat all over myself. Oh my god, I need more fucking coffee. I'm almost out of coffee. Holy fucking shit. All right. So Joe Biden, Joseph Robinette. Emphasis on Robinette. Biden gave us a fact sheet. A fucking fact sheet. President Biden to sign historic executive order advancing LGBTQI. What about the A? So this is weird. Okay, so advancing LGBTQI. Now, first it was LGBT, alright. But then some people do LGBTQ. And then some people do LGBTQIA+. I've never heard of LGBTQI+. Like, we're going back now. Fuck the asexuals, get rid of them. We're going back. So, off to a good start. Equality during Pride Month. Alright, so we got an executive order. Now, should it have been signed on January 21st, 2021? Yeah. But, alright, let's read. President Biden believes no one should face discrimination. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Executive order builds on the historic progress he has made for LGBTQI plus people by addressing discriminatory legislative attacks aimed against LGBTQI plus children and families, directing key agencies to protect families and children. Okay. So he's addressing that there's a problem and directing people to do something about the problem. Some people are going to do something about the problem. All right, I'll take it. Preventing so-called conversion therapy with a historic initiative to protect children from the harmful practice. I don't know why they're putting conversion therapy in quotes as if like that's like a hyperbolic situation or whatever, but anyway. Safeguarding healthcare and programs designed to prevent youth suicide. Okay, so my question is, are they going to do anything to overrule states like Alabama that have made trans healthcare for adults under the age of 19 a felony charge? Are they going to do anything about that? Like, I'm just saying, like, safeguarding healthcare, what does that mean? How are they actually going to safeguard the healthcare? Does anyone know? Like, I'm genuinely curious. Supporting LGBTQI plus children and families by launching a new initiative to protect foster youth, prevent homelessness, and improve access to federal programs, and taking new additional steps to advance LGBTQI equality. So we got some new additional steps. Great. We got some new additional steps. So half the country is declaring a war on trans people. We have literally paramilitary right-wing militias that are planning to fuck up Pride events. And now Joe Biden's taking new additional steps to advance our equality. Isn't that great? Addressing discriminatory legislative attacks. So he's addressing them. Okay, safeguarding healthcare. Because of discrimination and bullying, nearly half of queer youth, I use the word queer by the way. I think that that's the way to go. Seriously considered suicide last year. Queer people of all ages also face significant barriers to accessing healthcare, and queer patients face significant health disparities. To safeguard access to healthcare for queer patients and address queer youth mental health crisis, President Biden is charging HHS with taking steps to address the barriers and exclusionary policies that queer individuals and families face in access. Okay, so how, though? The president's order charges HHS to work with states to promote expanded access to gender-affirming care. Okay, but how? Working with states to promote, that doesn't mean anything. Like, I don't know, man. What does that mean? It also, remember in 2020 when the Democrats won the election? Reminder, Donald Trump lost. Do you remember the Equality Act? Remember that shit? Remember, because they passed it in the House or whatever when Trump was president. And they're like, we're going to Equality Act. And remember that? Does anyone remember, like, the federal protection the Democrats said that they were going to get done? And then, like, Joe Biden assumes office and everyone just, oh, equality what? Okay, new guidance through the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration on providing evidence-informed mental health care for LGBTQI plus youth. So something that's going to be undone the next time a Republican's in office with no lasting effects? Putting a Band-Aid on a gaping wound? Not even a Band-Aid, really. I mean, I don't know. All right, so we're going to support children and families. Family rejection could lead to disproportionately high rates of homelessness and overrepresentation in foster care. And for queer parents and households, significant barriers remain in accessing vital government benefits and services. Okay, so what will it do? Address discrimination and barriers faced by queer youth parents. Okay, so it's going to address them? What? Support families. Okay, that's great. What are they going to do? Okay. Directing HHS to expand access to voluntary family counseling. Expand access to counseling? So it's not going to be free. You're still going to have to pay for it. But now you might be able to pay for it instead of not being able to pay for it. Isn't that great? We got some access going on. Anyway, the president's executive order directs HHS to publish a Bill of Rights for queer older adults and a new guidance on non-discrimination protections for older adults in long-term care settings. It also charges HHS with exploring new rulemaking. So basically nothing is going on here. Let's be honest, nothing is really happening, and this is all going to be undone. Fighting for passage of the Equality Act. I'm going to read this. Oh, that's a red highlight on the White House website. That's interesting. Okay. President Biden continues to call on the Senate to swiftly pass the Equality Act legislation, which will provide long overdue federal civil rights protections to queer Americans and their families. So where is that, by the way? Is Joe Manchin just like a fucking raging bigot? What's the status on that? I don't know, man. I'm very jaded. I see this and I see, President Biden's doing like a big speech about how he loves the queers, and then nothing's actually going to happen. And any good that could come out of this is just going to be undone by the next Republican president. So, I don't know. I'm skeptical. But, I mean, I think it's great that the president acknowledges that queer people shouldn't be genocided. I think that's great. But, like, giving people access to fucking something is just not, that's not, I don't know, man. He's addressing that states are being mean. I saw in Alabama that they were saying that it's a felony. And I'm going to walk down there and say, that's bad. And that's basically what this executive order says to me. Is not doing anything, but he wants you to think that he cares. I don't know, man. Maybe I am too jaded on this, but also I see the rest of the real world, and I think, yeah, not nearly enough, but that's just me. I don't know. And so anyway, this is the Republican response. Apparently there's a task force. Kamala Harris announces launch of White House task force to stop online gendered disinformation abuse. So every time someone calls me a tranny in my YouTube comment section, Kamala Harris's task force is going to be on the case. Because I'm in. All right. Save me. Save me, Kamala. Vice President Kamala Harris announced the launch of a task force to address online harassment and abuse Thursday at the White House. Harris praised the task force in her remarks. So the task force is now in existence, and she's already praising them? Like, I want, like, every time, like, a Nazi, like, calls me a tranny in my YouTube comments, I want, like, someone to reply to them and go, like, this is so-and-so, like, fucking whatever the name is, from the White House Task Force on Gender Disinformation, and we're here to tell you to cut it out! That's what I want to hear. I want Kamala Harris to be my white knight in my YouTube comments. That's what I want. So the task force, day one, and we're already getting praise. Out the gate with praise. All right. Means for societal progress, saying no one should have to endure abuse just because they're attempting to participate in society. Now, again, I can say this as a trans person on the internet. Literally every single day, I get dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of people wishing death on me. Like, trying to find out where I live so that they can kill me. Right? Spamming my shit. Trying to, like, hack me and steal my stuff. Call me a tranny everywhere. You know, every day. This is a daily situation. So, Kamala Harris, I'm ready. Where's this task force? Please, back me up. I need reinforcements out here. A memo on the task force released by the White House condemned gendered disinformation and proclaimed the administration will be developing programs and policies to address online harassment, abuse, and disinformation campaigns targeting women and LGBTQI+ individuals who are public and political figures, government and civic leaders, activists, and journalists in the United States and globally. The memo suggested that online harassment has devastating costs for democracy itself by undermining people's ability to exercise their human rights and participate in democracy, governance, and civic life. There's a term in the trans community that people use. It's called stealth. You may or may not have heard this term. It is where someone who has transitioned will literally erase all traces of their former identity and literally just live a new life entirely. Like, you know, usually people are disowned from their families when this happens. They get entirely new lives, new friends, whatever. And they just don't tell anyone that they're trans. And why would they want to do that? Because literally at any point participating in society, if you tell someone that you're trans, they could kill you. I've read many stories of people that I've spoken to online of, like, someone who's, stealth trans woman, going out with someone for 6 months. Everything's great, right? They're really into it, one another, and, it's a great relationship. Everything's good. And then, like, they talk, then all of a sudden there's a conversation about how, like, oh, we need to get these trannies away from kids. And if we have kids, we'll never, let the trannies near our kids. And then it's like, oh shit. You never know, right? When someone that you're in any relationship to at all is just going to be a raging bigot that would want to kill you, right? And so for a lot of trans people, they go stealth. And that is its own difficulty. Right? Because again, you're making the bet that no one's going to find out that you're trans. And, I don't blame people for going stealth. I mean, in my personal life, I don't tell anyone that shit. Why? Because I don't want to fucking get shot and killed. But anyway, right? So, like, just being trans or gay in any public scenario, you're going to have to deal with this fucking shit. And so the idea that there's a White House task force that's going to be, they're on the case. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, a task force? Really? That's it? And then again, I'm reading this on Fox News. Why? Because I want to know what the right's going to say about this. They're just making fun of it. Like, the right literally just pretends that there is no harassment. Like, while right-wingers will harass the shit out of you They will tell you you have equal rights and there's no harassment. Like, it happens all the time in my comment section. Like, if you look at any comment section on any, like, queer-related subject that I cover, you're going to see people tell me, oh, the queer people have too many rights, you stupid fucking tranny. There's no such thing as harassment, you stupid fucking tranny. You can just see it. Like they're just fucking with us. That's the thing, is they don't care. There is no, there is no care in the world at all. And then we have this photo, which is great. It went on to claim online abuse and harassment, which aimed to preclude women from political decision-making about their own lives and communities, undermine the functioning of democracy. That's true. But just saying that, are you going to do anything about it? And then there's the second layer. Let's assume you can do anything about it. What are you going to do? Like, like, for someone like me, right, that is a YouTuber, and I'm not even that big. I'm not famous, right? I've got like 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, and literally every day I get death threats. Every day I get people like harassing the shit out of me. So what is this task force going to materially do for someone like me in my position, right? Or someone that is going to work every day, right, and getting harassed for being trans or gay? What is that? What is this task force going to do? Like, I'm serious. Like, what? The director of the White House Gender Policy Council and the assistant to the president on national security affairs will lead the interagency efforts to address online harassment, abuse, and specifically focus on technology-facilitated gender-based violence, and to develop concrete recommendations to improve prevention, response, and protection efforts through programs and policies in the United States and globally. So what does that mean? Literally, like, the material effect. What is that? What does that mean? You're going to take steps to address what? Like, what? Like, seriously, Kamala Harris and the White House broadly, and Democrats broadly, they use queer rights as like a cudgel. They say, oh, we're doing something about it, right? And then cisgender or straight people, right, are going to look at that and see, oh, Joe Biden's really doing what he can. And then meanwhile, living in America, being trans or gay or whatever, and nothing's going to change. Like, we just have to be told by cis people that we have equal rights while we live every day and no, we don't. Right? That's the thing that's crazy about it, right? It's the gaslighting from all of society. It's just every direction is gaslighting, right? Every group is telling you that, you're not actually experiencing inequality. You have equal rights. You have more rights than me. Like, you have straight people that say gay people have more rights than me, or men that say like women have more rights than me. And it's like, bro, what fucking planet are you living on? Like, if you think that transgender people have more rights than you, I want you to try to transition. Like, you don't have to take hormones or anything, but go through the process. Genuinely, I'd like you to try. Go through the process of trying to get prescribed hormones and tell me how we have infinite free rights. I'm just curious. Like, I would love to see you do that. Go, like, just pretend to be gay and go to Alabama and get a job at Applebee's and tell everyone you're gay. You don't have to be gay. You don't have to suck dick. Just tell everyone you're gay and see what happens. Fucking equal rights, my asshole, dude. Although Harris mentioned concern about white supremacy online and privacy protection for abortions in her remarks, neither she nor the memo mentioned far-left Antifa groups doxing politics. Jesus Christ. Dangerous leftist activity. Fox News is so fucking stupid. Former Congress, who cares? Leftist trolls. Jesus Christ. They're making this about TERFs. And that's the thing, is right-wingers are going to see this, and they're going to just attack trans people more. Like, this gives the right wing more ammo, because they're going to be like, oh, the White House, they're protecting the trannies, so now we got to attack the trannies even more. And then, meanwhile, their task force isn't even doing anything. So all they're doing is they're raising the attention of an issue, not doing anything about it, and then going like, aren't we so brave? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's insane. Anyway, so, they're going to try to take credit for this. They're going to tell us that they're saving the world and the trainees got to thank them. Oh, please look up to me. And then it's like, okay, what have you done for me? What has Kamala Harris or Joe Biden actually done for me? Nothing! They will continue to do nothing, but they'll claim credit for being great. Meanwhile, they're just going to exacerbate the problems. Now again, if Kamala Harris and their task force and the White House's executive orders actually did stuff to actually help real people, then it's like, whatever, I don't care about like the reactionaries. But the problem is they're not doing anything, and they're just fueling the reactionaries, so the reactionaries are going to get more hateful, and there's nothing to counterbalance it other than, oh, look at how great we are. We acknowledge queer people shouldn't be killed. So, can you give us a present? It's bizarre. And it's like, okay, there's going to be a task force to combat online harassment campaigns against queer people. Great! I'm ready. Like, hit me up. You want my phone number? Like, I mean, I have a lot to say. Like, and again, I am not even famous. I have 10,000 YouTube subscribers. That's nothing. That's nothing. Imagine being someone that has like 100,000 YouTube subscribers and they're trans. Imagine someone with 1 million YouTube subscribers and they're trans. Imagine the shit they have to put up with. I have had people literally send SWAT teams to my house to attempt to execute me because I am transgender. What is this what is this fucking, this board, this task force? What are they going to do about that? What are they going to do about police being discriminatory against transgender people when they demand to see your identification and then see that you're a tranny and then make fun of you and leave you out in the cold even though someone like committed a crime against you and then they don't take rape seriously? What are they going to do about that? Nothing. What are they going to do about when you go to get a new job and then someone looks into your background and finds out that, you know, you were the opposite gender that you are now and then decides not to hire you, and then you go to every other company or every other employer in your small Republican town and they all know the same because they all talk to each other, and then you can't get a job, and then you can't pay rent, and then you're homeless. What are they going to do about that? Nothing. They're going to do fucking nothing at all. Like, in my opinion, online harassment campaigns, that's the least of my concerns. That's the fucking least of my concerns, right? I am way more concerned about real world violence being inflicted upon me or people like me than I am about someone calling me a tranny in a YouTube comment section. But the thing is, we have to understand, like, that is step 1 of the pipeline. Calling someone a tranny on YouTube comment section is step 1. Step 10 is sending a SWAT team to their house to try to get them killed, right? And that's happened to me. And that's happened to a lot of people. And a lot of people have been, like, on the receiving end of violence from the state at the behest of neo-Nazis in online harassment campaigns. And are they going to do anything about it? No. They're giving more money to police, right? They're not, like, they don't care at all. Democrats don't care at all. At all. They have 0% care in the world, but they care enough about, like, people perceiving that they might care that they're going to make the problem worse. And that's just like the liberal brain worms. But what about the Equality Act? You're telling me Joe Manchin doesn't want trans people to have equal rights? Why is that? Why don't you talk about that on a daily basis and pressure him to pass the Equality Act? They're not going to do that. They don't care. At all. Because if they did, they wouldn't do shit like this. I am out of coffee. Fuck me. Ah! I'm gonna go get more coffee or like something to drink. I'll be right back. Be right back. Be right back. thing on? Testing. Testing. Is this thing on? Hello? Oh shit, that's easy. Hello? Hello? Is this thing on? We're back. All right. You're 6 years younger than me? Holy fucking shit. I'm old. There are literal children watching my show. Like, you know, they're 20, but in my opinion, I'm losing it. And you have a beard. Oh! Someone just take it all away from me. Holy shit. Anyway, I got more coffee too. Waterloo pineapple sounds good. All right. Yeah, that's another thing, Johnny Too Late FTV, is that, like, this trans panic and this hatred of, like, queer people, it doesn't only affect queer people. It affects cis straight people that just, like they just wear, like, different kinds of t-shirts than you're used to. You know, like, there have been more cis people assaulted in bathrooms because someone thought that they were trans than trans people, like, being, like, molesters and hiding in the stall like fucking Pennywise from It or something. You know what I mean? Like, there's been literally documented hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands by this point, because I don't keep up with this, of cisgender people going like, "Are you a man?" Blech. And it's just like a cis woman that has short hair. "Are you a man?" Right? And like beat the shit out of them. Or like force them to get out of the bathroom and then they like pee themselves because they can't use the bathroom. Right? Like, it's just weird, dude. Like, these people are fucking weird. They're strange, they're psychos, and they need to fucking go. We cannot have a society. We cannot have a society when you have people like this running around. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And when I say people like this, I mean this wretched fucking, I don't even know, like, there's no word in the human language that could accurately describe just how horrible this person is. I'm gonna play this clip. This is Candace Owens basically saying, you should not be allowed to have children if you're in like a 50-mile radius of a gay person. You're not allowed to have children. I don't even, like, this is some really bizarre bonkers shit. List of people that need to be sent to an island somewhere. Candace fucking Owens.
Of course, I have been covering the wonderful month of Pride, for which I feel no pride for at all. I think it should be called Shame Month. It's absolute debauchery. But you should know that over $200,000...
First of all, why would you have Pride for Pride Month when you're not gay or trans or whatever? Like, that's like saying, oh, it's Black History Month and I'm embracing my hair. Like, what? I'm a white person. Like, the Black History, it's not for me, right? Like, oh, it's Juneteenth. Great, let's celebrate and get some Juneteenth ice cream from the nearest Walmart. Like, I'm a white person. This is not, like, everyone has their own holiday, right, for a reason, right? And the same, oh, it's Veterans Day. Great. Like, oh, I'm going to go to that war reenactment and go to the bar and hang out with my war buddies. Oh, wait, I've never been to war. It's not for me. Like, why would you have Pride for Pride Month if you're a fucking cisgender straight person? Bizarre. But again, the only reason she said that is to say that people should be shamed. People should be shamed. For what? Just existing? The answer is yes.
Dollars is being spent on drag queen shows at New York City schools. Why? I don't know. I am not sure why Drag Story Hour.
So first of all, I don't know anything about this story, but schools waste money all the time on stupid fucking bullshit. Like, every economics book that's ever been published for, like, any high school curriculum is going to be filled with misinformation. Disinformation, honestly, because they tell you that, like, free market capitalism, 1, exists, and 2, is, like, the ideal system, which is fake news. But anyway, and $200K is being spent on drag queen shows at NYC schools. How much money is spent on, like, Dr. Seuss Day? Like, I'm just asking. I'm curious. I remember every year in elementary school, we had to do, like, a whole day-long event of Dr. Seuss Day, where, like, they would buy all the Dr. Seuss books and hand them out. Everyone would get, like, a free Dr. Seuss book, and we'd all read Dr. Seuss. How much money was fucking wasted on Dr. Seuss Day every fucking year in my elementary school? I'm curious. Schools waste money on stuff like this all the time. What about assemblies? Where, like, someone comes to the school to, like, tell you about something? Is that a waste of money? I don't know. Maybe it's just promoting new experiences. But anyway, I don't know anything about the story, but I do know that Candace Owens is crazy.
In New York City needed $46,000 injected from city contracts for appearances at public schools and street festivals and libraries. Why did that need to happen? I don't know. Maybe it's because it's very obvious that there is an agenda on our children and they keep trying to tell you that you're homophobic if you talk about it.
The agenda being put on children is a religious agenda. Do you know how many kids are brainwashed into believing that God is real? Like, think about this. As a kid, right? As a kid, you have to, like, it's the tooth fairy. You put your tooth under the pillow, right? And then one day your parents are like, I have your teeth in a box somewhere in my drawer. There's no tooth fairy. It's like, oh, shit, okay. And then it's like, oh, Easter Bunny, right? They come over and they hide, like, eggs around the house and stuff. And, okay, great. And then, like, all of a sudden you find that bag of chocolate in your mom's closet. And it's like, oh, shit, Easter Bunny wasn't real. Santa Claus! Woo! You can't be fucking with me now. Santa Claus, he came down the chimney. Then you wake up in the middle of the night because you hear Santa Claus. And then, oh, wait, that's just, that's just your mom putting the presents under the tree. But then, all of a sudden, God. So, you're telling me Santa Claus, Tooth Fairy, Easter Bunny, they're all fake, but God is real? Like, I'm just saying, like, that's insane. That's insane. So, if anyone's going to talk about any sort of grooming of children of any kind, we got to talk about religion. Also, there's a bunch of cases exploding all over the world of Christian churches, Catholic mostly, but a couple of other kinds of churches, that have giant sex trafficking rings for children, where they groom children into thinking, oh, well, God is channeling their energy through this priest or whatever, and so when they, like, fuck me up the ass when I'm 6 years old, that's great because it's God empowering me with... That's, like, the shit that they said. Have you read these documents from these religious fucking institutions? And the fucking shit that they do to children? And they brainwash kids into thinking that this is like, oh, everyone does this. It's a rite of passage. Like, oh yeah, no. This is like, it's part of the church. Everyone goes through this. We touch everybody. And that's how we give you the gift of God. If we're going to talk about grooming, we got to talk about God. We got to talk about religion. We got to talk about how poisonous that fucking garbage is. Religion is trash. It's trash. God isn't real. Fuck your stupid fucking religion. And more kids, by not even in order of magnitude, because that is not hyperbolic enough. Literally, probably, just on like, again, there was this report released in France. And I know that there's many other reports, but this one was crazy. Just in France, 300,000 kids were found to be molested. And that was like an undercount. They're still counting in France over the last, 30 years or something like that. So, how many kids have been groomed to be gay? First of all, 0, because kids cannot be groomed to be gay. You're either gay or not, right? So there's no grooming to be gay. But let's assume, let's how many kids were touched or molested or raped by a gay person in a gay way? Well, guess what? Think about this. Most of them are religious, right? Because religious people tell you that being gay is a sin. right? And so they weaponize, why do you think, again, fathers and preachers love to molest little boys? It's because they're using religion as an excuse to molest people. It has nothing to do with them being gay. It has something to do with them being brainwashed into thinking being gay is evil, so they need to be gay in like some top secret fucking fashion and take advantage of people that don't know any better, right? So again, this idea that gay people are like running amok and like oh shit, outside I just saw a gay person molest a child. Oh, there's another one, the gays, they're running. Like, it's fantasy. They made it up. But like any kernel of truth here that you could find is going to be most spotlighted in religious institutions that these people claim are sacrosanct. Is Candace Owens an atheist? Are any of these fucking far-right Republicans atheists? Some of them are. Some of them will denounce God, and that's a step in the right direction. But they'll just replace their God with some other sort of God, like a corporate God, like Elon Musk or something like that. They all have their own religions, right? But again, the idea of teaching kids about gay people existing, the fact that, that's such a big deal. Meanwhile, by the way, have you ever been to a wedding? I remember when I was 5 years old, I went to a wedding. What the fuck is a wedding, right? It's two people. They're having a party saying, we get to fuck now, in the Christian faith anyway. That's a wedding! We get to fuck now! Woo! Why are kids allowed at weddings? I'm just asking.
But it's not homophobia to talk about the fact that they are going after our children. I have said on this show, and I have been mocked for it, that it's very obvious that pedophilia will be around the corner, right?
Okay, so someone learning about gay people in a book. Next step, pedophilia. But again, okay, let's talk about pedophilia. And you can't talk about pedophilia without talking about religion. Christianity, you just can't fucking do it. You just can't talk about pedophilia without talking about religion. But they don't. They want to pretend that pedophilia is only a problem with random gay people in books and not a problem with religious institutions that have been around for 2,000 fucking years. Andrew Kohler, $5. They tell you you're homophobic, like rabid National Socialist Paul Ehlers in 1939 whining about how he used to get called a bloody anti-Semite. Yeah.
There's no reason that we should be seeing images of children putting dollar bills in half-naked men that are dressed.
Yet, we're allowed to see children walk down the aisle being a ring bearer at a wedding. That's fine. We're allowed to see children, right? You ever, like, have a nightmare, right? And you're, like, screaming, and then your mom and dad let you sleep in their bed? Never happened to me, because, you know, my mom and dad were never together throughout my life. But I've seen this in movies. I've had people tell me that this is a real thing that really exists. Oh, I have a nightmare, so I want to sleep with my parents, and they sleep in the middle of the bed or something. But wait a second. Is that grooming? I mean, like, whoa, the mom and dad are sleeping in the same bed? Is that normal? Do they do that all the time? What do they do in that bed? Is that grooming? Jesus Christ.
Dressed up as women and seeing adults applaud it around as, oh, this is love, love is love, love is love. By the way,
someone being dressed up as a woman, that's bad? That's grooming? What? What about, I don't know, women? Women can't even dress up as women now? Like, what? Like, Candace Owens, you're dressing up as a woman, so what the fuck? What are you talking about?
That is one of the dumbest expressions I've ever heard in my life. Love is love, air is air, water is water. It's stupid. Debauchery is debauchery, and that's what we're looking at right now.
So wait, okay? So love is a bad argument? But her actual argument is debauchery? That's her actual argument? Like, oh, how is this debauchery? Oh, it just is. Can you describe the process? No, it's debauchery. It's degeneracy. That's what it is. But can you explain how? No, they're coming for the children. Like, what? Like, she's making fun of her own argument here? It's ridiculous.
Society has become increasingly disgusting. I spoke about this last week. And when you start to see that your government is sponsoring that, when they're putting real dollars behind things like...
Religion in this country is tax exempt. There is a gigantic government subsidy of child rape and child molestation in this country known as tax exemption status for religious institutions. That is a giant subsidy for child molestation. Is Candace Owens going to talk about that? And again, I will never bring up this. I will never talk about this subject without bringing up the fact that since QAnon has gained prominence, right? Sex trafficking agencies and law enforcement that actually tries to combat child sex trafficking and all those sorts of crimes, they have been less fucking effective. Look this up. Since QAnon became popular, what is the core tenet of QAnon? The Democrats are all like child rapists or whatever. And so what they do is they flood these hotlines with fake stuff that they read on Facebook about how, like, you know, like, I don't know, Nancy Pelosi's got like 15 kids in her basement or whatever. And they all come up with their own things, and then every like couple minutes there's a new one on Facebook. There's been so many fake reports, and then people saying, oh, there's a gay person on the street, they're a groomer, go get him. There's been so many fake reports that these law enforcement agencies that actually combat sex trafficking have been less effective because they have to investigate all the fake reports. And so that they don't have the resources to investigate the fake reports and just like determine that they're fake and just focus on real ones. They don't know what's real and what's not. They investigate everything. And so as a result, it ends up with the real reports getting drowned out. And so they've actually gotten less convictions over time. And percentage-wise, they've been less effective on combating child sex trafficking. So the net actual real-world result of all of this garbage that Candace Owens is preaching, all of the garbage, the net result is that children are less safe. I need you to understand that. Like, these people lie. They don't give a fuck at all. Because if they did, they wouldn't be talking about, oh, there's a drag queen somewhere in a 75-mile radius. They would be talking about the Catholic fucking church. That's what they would be talking about. If they actually gave a fuck about child safety, they'd be talking about God and how evil the concept of God is in our fucking culture. That's what they would be talking about, but they're not, because they love God, because they use God. They weaponize God in the same way that the fucking priests who rape little boys do. They weaponize them for power and influence over stupid people so that they can commit as many crimes as they want and make a lot of money off of them.
Drag queen story hour in New York City, you should realize that something nefarious is going on, because the government does not care about your children. No. The government does not love your children. The government is not...
That's true. I agree. The government doesn't give a fuck and never gave a fuck. Again, the giant government-subsidized child molestation industry known as religion in this country should tell you that.
Want your children to be accepted. The government wants your children to be enslaved to government for the rest of their life. And right now...
That's true. I agree with this. But that has nothing to do with gay people existing, you stupid fucking... I can't say that word on YouTube. That has nothing to do with gay people existing. That has to do with corporate overlords basically buying our government and forcing us to live under a corporatocracy. That's fascism, which is what she advocates for, right? A collapse of corporate overlords and government. Probably she wants a theocracy. I've heard her talk about how God needs to be in the schools again, right? That is actual enslavement that she advocates for on a daily basis. So she is advocating for a society and then criticizing that society in the abstract when it comes to gay people existing. Gay people existing, all of a sudden, oh shit, we're all slaves. But us only having one phone company that we can choose from, that's fine. Us getting price gouged on our electricity bills, that's fine. Forcing our kids to go to Sunday school in a lot of areas, that's fine. Forcing kids to pledge allegiance to a stupid fucking flag, that's fine. That's not the government overreach. That's not enslaving your children. That's not brainwashing your kids at all. No. That's freedom. That's America, baby. But gay people being allowed to walk around outside in the real world, oh, fuck. Someone call the cops?
Now, as we're seeing, there is a marriage between government and big pharma. It is my belief that that is the push behind this effort to tell children that they can pick their...
And yet, does Candace Owens support a Medicare for All system that would reduce Big Pharma's control of our society? Does she support universal health care? Does she support lowering prescription drug prices? No, she fucking doesn't. Because these people are fucking garbage. if you cared about Big Pharma at all, you should advocate for a universal healthcare system. That's what you should advocate for. But whenever someone does, she's like, oh, this government overreach, goddamn got the boo. So she preaches the society of which Big Pharma can control a lot of our lives. And she says that's a bad thing while advocating for it in the abstract. These people, and again, anyone that listens to this person, like Candace Owens is obviously an actor. She's saying, she's reading lines on a teleprompter. She's garbage, okay? But there's people actually that listen to her. There's people that go like, yeah! And you know what her role is? You know what this fucking stupid bitch's fucking role is in society? Let's be honest. Her role is to make black people more homophobic, transphobic, and right-wing. That's her role. Right? I know a lot of people, right, that don't know who Candace Owens is, right, that hear something that she says and assumes that she's like, you know, more intelligent than a white person because she's black. And oh, if she's black, so she can't possibly be advocating for white supremacy. I've had this conversation with many people in my family, and it's like, I don't know what to tell you. This is her role in society. Her role is try to make as many people as possible, specifically black people, more homophobic, more transphobic, and more in favor of governments being controlled by corporations. That's her role.
Gender and to confuse them. I believe our government is actually sponsoring.
You know what's confusing children? Telling them that there's a God, but there's no Santa Claus. That's fucking confusing. When I learned that there was no Santa Claus, I just assumed that God wasn't real either. And then my parents were like, oh no, God's real. But here's the thing. Santa Claus is bringing me fucking presents. I can see evidence of Santa Claus. Now again, I was lied to, but I could at least see evidence of Santa Claus. The Easter Bunny, I could see the chocolate eggs being hidden in the fucking, you know, cupboard or whatever. Tooth Fairy, you know, I pick up the fucking pillow and I see the dollars. I can see evidence of this shit. I never saw evidence of God. So you're telling me the one with no evidence is real, but the ones with evidence are fake? What the fuck?
Mental illness. I've said this over and over again, right? Because people that are mentally ill cannot stand up on their own 2 feet, right? They become codependent with the government.
What about people that are codependent with their stupid fucking religion garbage? Oh, I talk to God every day and God told me to burn down the abortion clinic. What the fuck?
They turn to the government for their hormone pills. They turn to the government for whatever pills that they can to make it feel better.
I don't like, okay, so Big Pharma is bad, but the government giving you medication you need is also bad? The problem with Big Pharma is price gouging. The problem with Big Pharma is that they prescribe things in some cases that aren't going to solve the problem, but just reduce the symptoms so that you're, you know, that's the problem with Big Pharma. The problem with, like, when, in the few instances where medication works, should we ban chemotherapy because Big Pharma's bad? Like, I don't, what? What?
Right? And you are seeing right now that adults are getting behind this narrative so that they can have a woke t-shirt on and say, I love my children. I allowed my child to pick their gender and pick their species. And they feel proud of themselves because they can go and they can say this on Facebook that they're a wonderful,
What about the parents that, oh, my kid recited a Bible verse at supper and led our supper in prayer? How is that not grooming? That's fucking weird. Like, they do that so that they can have their woke t-shirt. Like, what the fuck does this mean? People let their kids decide what they are? Oh, my kid decided that they wanted to be an author, and I didn't tell them to go work at Subway? Like, okay, good, that's cool. Like, who cares? Shouldn't kids be allowed to decide their own fucking life choices? Shouldn't a kid be allowed to dictate their entire life? Why would parents have control over kids' entire lives? It's bizarre. It's strange. And again, they never point out the weird-ass fucking grooming shit that happens in every other context. At all. It's just when it comes to gay or trans people, then all of a sudden it's a big deal. There's a gay person 30 miles away, so we need to move. Versus, oh, there's a church down the street, and let's move even closer to the church. Let's buy the house that's right next door. Like, I don't even, like...
Accepting and loving adults, when in reality, they are underqualified to have children. They should have their children taken away from them because it's child abuse. It is child abuse.
So child abuse is not dragging your child to church every day and telling them that if they don't follow a specific set of rules, they'll go to hell and die. Meanwhile, you go to restaurants and eat shellfish and stuff like that all the time, even though that's against the rules in the Bible. Meanwhile, the clothes that you buy for your kid are made of mixed fabrics, which is against the rules in the Bible. So they're already going to hell, but you're telling them they're going to go to hell. Do you know how many fucking kids kill themselves over the concept of hell? A lot. It's actually a pretty big problem, right? So, but that's fine. That's good. In fact, we'll give them even more kids. In fact, we'll take their kids to Sunday school so that the priest can fucking molest them. That's great. Right? But telling your kid that gay people exist, oh, we gotta take them away. Holy shit. You gave your kid a book that mentions that a prince kissed another prince? Oh, fuck. Meanwhile, what about watching Disney films like Snow White or Beauty and the Beast, where there's heterosexual kissing in those movies, and they're rated G for general audience? Isn't that weird? Isn't that strange? Movies that are rated G for general audience, you sit down a kid, you plop in the VHS tape, and you let them watch this fucking, I don't know, this princess and prince kissing each other bullshit. That's fine. That's not grooming. That's pornography. That's pornography. That's kissing. That's adults kissing in a cartoon. That's fucking hentai, bro. I don't know what to fucking tell you. So that's fine. We can let our kids watch Disney films. That's all great. Everything's good about that. Except when there's a gay prince or a gay princess, all of a sudden, nuclear fucking meltdown. Like, these people are fucking really just... Ugh.
To put a half-naked adult in the room with a small child and having them read a book. It's just child abuse. That's what it is. It's child abuse.
What about going to the beach? Is bringing a child to a beach child abuse? I remember going to the beach for the first time, and I was, like, confused. Why is everyone walking around with no clothes on? I lived in New Jersey. I would go to Wildwood. Shout-outs. And, like, the boardwalk's super long. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's a super long boardwalk, but I used to love going up and down the boardwalk, looking at all the arcades. And I would never wear... I didn't like bathing suits. I don't like being naked in general. Sometimes everyone... But anyway, is taking a child to a beach... Is that child abuse? There's half-naked women. They're dressed like women, too. They wear these bikinis. Have you seen them? It's literally just a bra and panties. That's it. That's it. Have you ever taken your kid to the water park? A public pool? Child abuse. Child abuse. Child abuse. Child abuse. That's child abuse. Every time you go to a public pool, that's child abuse. How dare you? Is it child abuse? In middle school gym class, when they force you into a locker room and tell you to take your clothes off and put shorts on, and then after gym class, they force you to become naked and make you shower with other people in the locker room? Is that child abuse? Is that child abuse? While the sweaty fucking gym teacher watches you and goes... Is that child abuse? I'm sincerely asking you. Because what's the difference? Now, am I saying that it's the most appropriate thing in the world, right? To take your kid to a drag queen show if there's, like, people getting naked or whatever? I don't know. I don't have kids. I don't care. And also, we have to understand that they're misinterpreting and misrepresenting what's going on at these shows entirely, 100%. They're lying about what happens, right? But again, if taking your kid to a drag show is child abuse because someone wearing drag is half naked, then by that logic, taking them to the beach is child abuse as well. But what's the difference? One of them, they're reading a gay book. One of them, they're not. That's the difference. They're building a sandcastle versus reading a book about gay people. And that is what they want to criminalize. They don't want to criminalize nudity, right? Because then they'd have to ban kids from beaches. They don't want to criminalize being half naked because then they have to ban all public pools. They want to criminalize being gay. That's it. That's the only thing. That's it. There's nothing more.
To ask your child to take a dollar bill and put it into the thong of a grown adult. It's child abuse. It's child abuse for teachers to be telling children, knowing fully well that it is a lie, that they can switch their gender biologically.
Fully well that it's a lie? What is that? What? I'm not going to lie to you. This idea that you can't switch your biological gender, it doesn't make any fucking sense. You can look up photos of me from 5 years ago if you want, 10 years ago if you want. I'm sure they exist on the internet somewhere. Motherfucker, I am living proof that you can switch your fucking gender, okay? No shit, biologically. What is biology? The study of life. Okay? The study of life. That is biology. What is biological? A living being. A living creature that exists. So if you can take hormone medication and it changes your body, what is your body made out of? Biological material. What are hormones? Biological material. If you can change your biological material that constructs your body, you can change your biological gender. What is biology? Again, study of life. Study of life. This idea that, oh, you can't switch your biological gender. It's just made up. They made it up. I did it. I have proof. I'm living proof you can do it. And I'll do it again, motherfucker, just for spite.
Right? But to encourage that behind a parent's back, that's child abuse. So,
what does that mean, encourage that behind a parent's back? What does that mean? Like, who's encouraging 4-year-olds to take titty skittles? Like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, seriously, what?
The question remains is when do parents draw the line and start realizing this? Start realizing that the scholarships and the nice schools are not worth all of this.
The scholarships? Like, what is this world where you get a scholarship for convincing your child to be transgender? What? Like, can you cite any examples? Yeah, there's a scholarship. Any parent that forces their child to start hormone therapy at the age of 6 years old will get a scholarship.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
Some dumbass fucking shit. Stupid fucking garbage, dude. Stupid fucking garbage. These people are stupid fucking garbage. And they need to be, list of people that need to be sent to an island somewhere with no supplies. You don't like society, Candace Owens? Get the fuck out. You don't like it? Leave, bitch. Get the fuck out. What a fucking piece of garbage. Hopefully Kamala Harris's task force will help me, because I know when I release the clip for this this video, I guarantee you, scroll down. If you're watching the video version of this, scroll down. I guarantee you're going to see some fucking garbage. Guaranteed. Because that's what it is, being online. You have to deal with daily harassment all the time. Literally. It's incredible to me. There are people, real people theoretically that exist. I'm sure some of them are bots, but also there are real people that a daily part of their routine, every day, a part of their routine is to call me a tranny online. Every day, a part of their routine is to make some stupid conspiracy up online and harass me for being transgender. It is an integral part of their daily routine. Like, oh, I'm bored. Like, what's news? Oh, let me go harass the tranny. Okay, tranny, stupid tranny. Like, that's a daily part of their... Think about that. That's insane. That's insane. That's crazy. That's crazy. And those people are fueled by fucking stupid ass bitches like fucking Candace Owens, right? That's their magnet, right? They get attracted to the stupid fucking dumbassery. And then they're like, oh, it's okay to harass people online because Candace Owens said so. It's insane. Who the fuck is getting a scholarship for being trans? Like, what the fuck? Can I get one? Can I get one? I dropped out of high school. Can I get a scholarship for being fucking trans? God damn, give me a free college education, motherfucker. I'm looking for one. It's insane. Anyway, there you go. So that's the show for today, folks. Reminder, a daily reminder to watch all of my clips that are at least 2 or 3 days old and white knight me in the comment section. Daily reminder. That is the most important thing you can do, because someone's going to wake up every day and harass me. So you got to wake up every day and defend me. Those are the rules. I don't make them up. We all know Kamala Harris's task force ain't going to do some shit. So we got to pick up the pieces. I don't know who T.I. is, Anno Productions, but good for them. speaking of Letterhack's in the show, so we need to really get to the bottom of this. This has been a fucking big problem. There's a big fucking problem with Letterhack. Holy fucking shit. And first of all, the first big problem is, what is this thumbnail? That's the first big problem. Look at this. What is that thumbnail? That's the first problem. Let me go find this other tweet. Okay, hold up. Let me find this fucking tweet, because we have got some very serious materials to discuss. Motherfucker, you tweet like 30 times. Okay, here we go. So we've got some allegations from the Letterhack on Twitter.com. Check this out. So let me read the text. Andrea Rovenski and her Above It All chat are coming after me, all. Two can play at that game. So Letterhack says, we're going to make the media pay for what they did to me. They made it hard for me to live a normal life. Is this Kyle Rittenhouse, by the way? Is this Kyle Rittenhouse? It's hard for me to go anywhere without security. I'm afraid I'll never be able to work or get a job because an employer may not hire me. This is fucking Letterhack, apparently, is going to sue the media. The media must pay. Meanwhile, we have some conflicting reports. Conflicting reports here, folks. This is not okay. Johnny Too Late FTV on Twitter says, day 3 of telling everyone I was first on episode 1590. Nope. I'm not going to let this go. Ha ha ha. Watch Above It All. Anyway, so here is the proof. Oh yeah? I got proof that I was first too. Ha ha. Just check out the replay. I'm first. Now and forever recorded in history. And so, I don't know what's going on here. But there's some problems that we need to figure this out. Now, yesterday I announced that I was abolishing first for 1590. But that does do a disservice to the theoretically rightful winner, Johnny Too Late FTV. That does do a disservice. So what I want to do is I want to verify these claims. I want to verify these claims, and I want to go onto the show page itself and look real quick. So as you can see, this is episode 1590. As you can see, let's scroll down, okay? And as we see it, live chat, Johnny Too Late FTV is first. Now let's click top chat to verify. And now it's gone because YouTube is a good system. Okay. First, once again. Now, it's possible it was a tie. You know, like in the 2020 Iowa Democratic Caucus. And YouTube flipped the coin on which one would be displayed first. So, I want to lay that out as a distinct possibility. That said, I would like to announce that I am unabolishing the 1590 First Award. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this first award to both the Letterhack and Johnny Too Late FTV. Both of them get the award. But, we can't actually get two distinct rewards. 2 trophies, that's a lot of money. We spent all of our money on 1 trophy. So what we're going to do is we're going to engage in shared custody of the 1590 First Award. Letterhack will get, they'll cycle back every week. Every 7 days, they'll cycle back. They'll share the award. Every Sunday, they got to give it to the other person at noon. Sunday at noon is going to be the transfer time. Every week. And so, this is the only thing I can think of that's fair. And so, hopefully this puts this embarrassing segment of the Above It All lore and history to rest. So anyway, that's the show. Still can't get into college, but we'll work on that one. That's a separate issue, Letterhack. All right, y'all. Your hair looks beautiful, my darling. Thank you. I haven't washed it in several days, and I've been sweating a lot because it's really hot. So this is unwashed, full of sweat. This is with the hairstyle that I'm going for. I've got those natural oils, motherfucker. It's because I eat so much olive oil that, like, the olive oil just, like, seeps out of my scalp and onto my head. Folks, it's the weekend. I'll be back tomorrow at noon in 24 hours and 6 minutes. Y'all enjoy yourselves. Goodbye. Yeah!
That was an opinion of somebody.
Why attack Sanders? Why? Oh, you're getting nervous, man. Calm down. It's okay.
And then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup from my family. They're so innocent. This is soup from my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup from my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people. I'll kiss every guy, man and woman, man and woman. Look at that guy, how handsome he is. I'll kiss him.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
I am not up to the job. And I mean that sincerely. It's not like, I am not up to the job. I am not up to the job.
They're coming all over the place. Everybody comes in, your grandmother, your...
Yeah!